Light, the fastest thing in existence. Nothing can catch it. Nothing can stop it. Except, in 2013, scientists in Germany did exactly that. They stopped light. Not slowed it. Not delayed it. Stopped. For 1 full minute, and when they released it, it continued, as if time itself had paused, and then resumed. This should not be possible. But it happened, and what it reveals changes everything. To understand how impossible this is, you need one fact. Light doesn't just move fast. It defines speed itself. We call it c, about 300,000 kilometers per second. According to Albert Einstein, this is not just a number. It is a limit. Nothing with mass can reach it. Nothing can exceed it. And here's the part that makes no sense. No matter how fast you are moving, light always moves at the same speed. To you. To me. To anything. Pause. Think about that. The universe bends around this rule, which means, if you stop light, you are not just stopping motion. You are interfering with one of the deepest rules of reality. And yet, someone already proved, you can break it. In 1999, a physicist named Lene Hau did something absurd. She slowed light to the speed of a bicycle, 17 kilometers per hour. This should not exist. To do it, she created a state of matter so cold, atoms stopped behaving like particles and merged into one quantum state, a Bose-Einstein condensate. Inside it, light didn't just pass through. It became linked to the atoms themselves, forced to move, as slowly as they did. Then in 2001, she went further. She stopped light completely, for a fraction of a second, stored it, then released it, and it came back. That alone shocked physics, but what happened next was different, because in 2013, they didn't stop light for milliseconds. They stopped it for 60 seconds. A team led by George Heinze used a crystal. Not extreme cold, not exotic conditions. A solid crystal at room temperature. They fired a pulse of light into it, then used a second laser to switch the crystal's state. And something impossible happened. The light disappeared. Not dimmed, not scattered, gone. Pause. Because its information, its phase, its structure, its quantum state was absorbed into the atoms of the crystal. For 1 full minute, the light did not exist as light. It existed as stored information, frozen. Then they triggered the crystal again, and the light came back out. Same structure, same information, moving at full speed, as if nothing had happened. For 1 minute, light did not exist in the universe as light. It existed as memory, and that changes more than physics. Right now, your entire internet runs on light. Data moves through fiber optic cables as pulses of photons. But every time that signal reaches a router, it has to slow down, convert into electricity, then back into light. That conversion is the bottleneck of the modern internet. It adds delay, it adds noise, it limits everything. But if you can store light directly, process it, and release it, you remove the bottleneck completely. Faster networks, lower latency, massive efficiency. This is not a small upgrade. This is a fundamental shift. But that's just the surface, because what they really built is something far more powerful, a quantum memory. Quantum computers rely on fragile states. They collapse easily. They decay in microseconds. That's the biggest limitation holding them back. But this experiment showed you can store a quantum state in solid matter at room temperature for 60 seconds. Pause. That's not normal. That's not supposed to happen. That's a missing piece. A stable quantum memory. Something researchers have been trying to build for decades. Which means this was not just an experiment. It was a signal. Because every time we push light, we don't just learn about physics. We learn about the limits of reality. And every time those limits break, something new becomes possible. In 1999, we slowed light. In 2001, we stopped it briefly. In 2013, we held it for a full minute. Each step was called impossible, until it wasn't. Which means the next impossible experiment is already happening. And when it works, it won't just change technology, it will change what we believe reality is.